This is the Kitchen Sink WP Podcast, episode 359.
I program my home computer.
We have a server crash, 404 error, page not found, links aren't working, system is crashing, system is crashing, system is crashing.
Your old HTML website, barely alive. We have the technology. We have WordPress. A new website, better than it was before. Better, stronger, faster. Well, hello, everybody. This is Adam Silver, the host of the Kitchen Sink WP podcast. Thanks for being here. Let's get started. All right, first and foremost, upcoming events. We have no camps, of course, but we still have WordFest coming up on January 22nd, 2021. That's this year. It's crazy. We're in the week 2 of this year already. It is just flying already by, right? Anyway, check that out. WordFest.live, I believe, is that domain, that link. So there you go. Link in the show notes. And moving on to segment 1 in the news, a couple of things to talk about here. Liquid Web made another acquisition. They acquired the Events Calendar WordPress plugin from Modern Tribe, and the team went with them. Not the entire agency, but the plugin team as well. So I believe it was like 50 people, 60 people, I think is what I read. Anyway, pretty cool. Congratulations to all of them. Pretty neat things there. And there is a link in the show notes. This happened back on January 6th, approximately. So there you go. Also in the news, WordPress.com is now offering custom websites for $4,900. But we'll get to that in a minute as well. There's more on the follow-up today on the meat and potatoes. They're offering, managed website development, I suppose. There's a big kerfuffle, I believe, in the ecosystem somewhere along the lines, and people are upset. Some people aren't. Anyway, but that's also in the news there, so something you might consider. Link in the show notes there as well. And that's it in the news. All right, moving on to segment 2, the meat and potatoes of this week's show, which is a Q&A episode. It's been another 8 weeks, so we have 3 questions. One is very timely, just based on what I talked about a second ago. We'll get to that in a second. First and foremost, this one's sent in by, I don't have who sent this one in. Maybe... No, I don't. I don't know. Oh, it was Steven. Steven sent this in. Can you explain the differences between DNS jargon regarding different records types, A type, MX, text, etc., CNAME, etc.? So, yes, I can, Steven, for you to know this and for others. And I might have talked about this in the past, but just to kind of go over the basic 4, A record, CNAME, MX record, and text record. So an A record is the most basic type of a DNS record. DNS standing for domain network. Did I say that right? I think so, yeah. DNS. Why can't I remember the DNS all of a sudden? Anyway, so it points the domain to or subdomain to an IP address. It's like, having almost like a PO box and your address goes somewhere. It goes to a physical location, right? So it's the most basic type, and it assigns the A record gets it there. So we know where to go. We don't want to type in 192.168.1.1. That's home, technically on your router or your computer. You want to type it. You want to type in, KitchensinkWP.com, and need to know where to go. So that's what the A record's for, okay? The CNAME record, it's another very commonly used record for the DNS entry, and domain name server, that's what it was, DNS. I don't know why I just went blank. So the CNAME, and the difference that it provides from an A record is it can point the value portion of the record to an existing subdomain or domain. So you might see this in a journal host name, for example, like, journal.kitchensinkwp.com. That's the A record. That'll go to a certain IP address. If we change the subdomain value also gets changed. It's a little confusing there, but it's another way to just kind of name things to have separation of subdomains and domains, I think is the best way to say it. So the CNAME actually lets you have separation of 2 entities within the same kind of overall space. The MX record, MX stands for the Mail Exchange Server. MX is Mail Exchange. It helps route the mail to where you want to go. And we use this a lot from in the agency side of things because we don't do email. I won't host it anymore. I won't touch that with a 10-foot pole. So if a client already has a mail server somewhere, we may leave that alone, but we'll host the website. Or if they want to break things up, we host the site on our server. We can set the MX record on their registrar to go mailed somewhere else, and it'll go, the A record and CNAME record will go to us for hosting. So there's that. Okay, that's how that kind of does that. And lastly, the text record. A text record is used mainly to store text-based info that can be grabbed in, queried when necessary. Most commonly, it's used to hold verify domain ownerships. Again, we've used this in the past. I had to use this recently when the server got hacked because I lost, quote, ownership. They snuck in a file, so I had to confirm that I owned it with Google. So that's a text record as well. So there you go, kind of a top-level view of A record, C name, MX record, text record. I believe I explained that pretty well for you. C name can be a little confusing, I believe, but it's not that tough once you see it in print and in a diagram, actually. So there you go. Hope that helps you, Stephen. Okay, moving on. This one's sent in by Shay. With so many plugins in the WordPress repository, how do you figure out which one to use? Love this question. I hear it quite often in conversations, and my answer is really simple. Quote, it depends. I'm just kidding. That depends concept has always been the answer we say in WordPress, but it's a standard thing. It's a never-ending issue because at the time of this recording, there are 58,247 plugins. It's crazy. So how does someone pick? Well, my advice is to ask a trusted partner or a resource. I might go as far as to offer me. You're more than welcome to send me questions. I won't use them every time. Maybe I will for next week's, 8 weeks from now. But ask someone you trust, a partner, a resource. I've been doing this WordPress thing for 10, 11 years now. Oh my gosh, 11 years. This is crazy. I've seen a bunch of things, good, bad, and ugly, and in the plugin space as well. I've tested a lot of things. I've toyed with them. I've played with them. I've broken things. They've broken sites. So you can't, if you have the time, you can always test things. You can also check local meetups online, WordCamps when they were a thing. It'd be a great way to have conversations. It's about finding people you trust, asking the question. Don't be afraid about it. And like I said, you can always try it, download them, try them out on your own. Of course, do this on a staging or development server. You may not want to try something that you're unaware of how it's going to affect your current live site, especially if it's membership, learning management, or e-commerce. So check that out. Yeah, there's a lot of plugins, 58,247 as of this recording. I remember when there was 30,000 or under 30,000. That is crazy. All right. Last question here, sent in by Jenny. Now that WordPress.com is offering development, how does one get on that referral list? And would you, me, I guess Adam, would I want my agency on that list? So timely question. Thank you for that. Answers. I am not sure how to get on that list. I did read a bunch of comments from a whole bunch of different people. Matt Mullerweg included. He replied to a video put out by Matt Medeiros. WP Tavern had an article about the program, had been in place for about 2 years. It was in beta. It was under the radar. They were at one point working with Upwork to source development, or maybe it was Codable. Anyway, if that's the case, I don't know right now what they're doing as far as sourcing the work that comes in through .com. Would I want the referral for my agency? Solid answer here is maybe. It depends on the terms and conditions and what's expected in turnaround times and what are any constraints we might have to deal with. For the agency side of my life, we're working on our own turnkey offering for this year, for actually Q1, matter of fact. So, and it'll technically be less expensive than what they're offering, but we have retained more control. So at the moment, my prices for my custom work for the agency over at Concierge WP are higher. So solid answer. It's a maybe is all I can say. I don't know how to get on that list, and I don't know if I want to be on that list. I'm open to that conversation. So if someone knows and they want to let me know, is there an application? I don't know. But I'm looking into it. We'll see. We'll see what comes up from it from moving forward. All right, moving on. That's it for this questions for this week's episode there. Moving on to segment 3, tip and tool of the week. This week, I want to mention a tool. It's a software tool. It's online. It's called WP Lookout. It's a plugin and theme. It's a plugin and theme update intelligence tool for WordPress. There's a free version, a paid version. I know the developer. His name is Chris Hardy. Really cool guy, super smart, funny, good guy. I've met him many times over the years. I used to be an automatician. He's just really cool. There's a ton of features. You can go to wplookout.com. Just to tell you what it does here real quick. So, on the features list, it says there's precision monitoring, flexible alerting. You can add trackers. There's just a lot of features and functionality here. There's a free version, paid version. Like I said, I think the paid version starts at, let's see here. I think it's $7, if I'm not mistaken. Features, pricing. Yeah, $7 a month for up to 50 themes and plugins. Pretty cool. There's a free version for 20 themes and plugins. So check it out. You have nothing to lose, really. And I have no connection to them at all. Chris is a friend. He sent it in. It's a new service he's offering. And there you go. Pretty cool. So you can start tracking updates and changes to themes and plugins so they may or may not affect your overall site and things you might manage. All right, there you have it. If you have any more questions, by all means, send them in. I love them. Every 8 weeks we do this. And you can send those to Adam at KitchensinkWP.com or use the speak pipe function on the website. If you want to support the show, become a Patreon, KitchensinkWP.com/Patreon. Sponsor the show. There's a form on the website. And thanks for listening. See you next week. Now go out and do some awesome things with WordPress. All right. Bye-bye.